Oh my God, very glad I didn't film that fiasco. Things escalated. I thought I would do a stoma bag review. Not just a medical device, it's an accessory. Let the stoma breathe. Why? There's some poo on my thigh. So those flat back Hollister bags are dead to me. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Hormone Diaries. This has been a highly requested episode. Ever since I announced that I was pregnant, people have been asking, what does that mean in terms of your stoma? What is it like being a pregnant person with a stoma? How is that all working and functioning? Please tell us what is going on. I haven't really mentioned it before now because at least in the first trimester it had no impact really whatsoever, and so I was waiting for stuff to happen to be able to document it for you, and I was like, maybe nothing will happen, but no. Stuff happened. In general, the way that I've kind of seen it play out for me is that my stoma hasn't really impacted my experience of pregnancy. However, my pregnancy has absolutely impacted my experience with a stoma. So it all started around the end of November last year, about the middle of my second trimester, when I noticed that my stoma had gotten a little bit bigger. Okay, great. Thanks so much. Yes. Going to see the stoma nurse after my ultrasound next week so that she can take a look at it and see if I need a different bag. So just got back from the hospital and saw the stoma nurse because I think my stoma has gotten bigger, and this is the bag that I was using. I was using this size bag and I was basically cutting to the maximum hole, like the maximum line here. The stoma nurse took a look at my stoma, did some measuring. You get like these fun things and you just like pop them on your stoma and you're like, which one? And so now I have some new bags, which is kind of weird because I've basically been using the same bags for 3 years now. The other thing that the stoma nurse gave me is some powder because the skin around my stoma was a bit red and pink and sore, and this kind of like happens every now and then, but it never gets so irritated that I needed to like reach out to a stoma nurse to see what the situation was. It just kind of was visibly pink and red, and then also like when she touched it, I was like, that does actually kind of hurt a bit. But like right now I can't feel it at all, but I have some powder. Success. So I don't know if it's a case of a medical professional with authority has confirmed that yes, my stoma has gotten bigger and I need a bigger bag. That means that now my stoma bag is like really hurting, like I can just like feel it digging into the side of my stoma and it's just very painful. Or if the stoma nurse cut the hole just slightly smaller than what I've been doing, because I'm still wearing one of the bags with the smaller hole, or my stoma has grown in the last last few hours. But yeah, it is painful, and I don't normally change my bag in the evenings, but I'm gonna have to because it's just gonna be too painful to sleep in, because it's just like been digging in all evening and just not been fun. But yeah, I'm gonna do that and then get ready for bed. I also am feeling like my normal evening like nausea, hunger, like the nausea actually isn't as bad as it has been, but I still just like get hungry and I just like need to snack all the time, and I have my crisps, twisted flaming hot Cheetos, yum. But I'm gonna wait until after I've changed my stoma bag to eat these, because one of the reasons why I don't really change my stoma bag in the evenings is because she's more likely to be active, and then it's just like messy and a bit of a faff trying to change it. But do you know what? I've had many a shit shows when changing my stoma bag, so nothing I can't handle. That's not true. There's been one time when I haven't been able to handle it alone, and luckily Dan was in and I had to call him in whilst there was shit everywhere, and I was like, help me. Okay, let's go change a stoma bag and hopefully I feel better. Done. That was actually a bit of a mission because my stoma was just pooing the entire time, and when I took my stoma bag off, it genuinely did look bigger, but I don't know whether that's because it's the evening now and my bump like is bigger in the evenings anyway, and so maybe like my stoma is bigger in the evenings. I don't know. It does feel good to have this bigger bag on, but as I was putting it on, I was like, oh god, is this actually like also too small? Do I need to go bigger than 35 millimeters? 20-week evening belly with stoma bag, and now I'm going to help myself to these. So yes, there is a lot of accidental foreshadowing in those clips, and looking back on them, I'm just thinking, oh honey, you have no idea what's ahead of you. But the next update that we get is actually about a month later, when the stoma chaos really kicks off. So it's been over a month since I got my new size stoma bags, and they have been working very well. However, I think we've grown again, so we need to start cutting bigger holes. But I now am in that habit of changing my bag like every 3 days, and for the last 2 or 3 changes I have noticed that it's been a bit of a tight squeeze, and I have basically been cutting right to the edge of the 35 line. I think I need to go beyond that. It's actually the evening right now. I normally change my bags in the morning, and yesterday was a bag change day, but it's tight and it's uncomfortable and it's painful, and I thought I might have been able to get away with a 35 cut until like my next actual bag change, but no, it's not gonna happen. It hurts too much, and like, why suffer when I don't have to? I'm actually gonna bring you down. You're not gonna be able to see my face anymore, but you will be able to see my belly and my stoma. So if that's something that you want to see, then keep watching. If not, put a timestamp on the screen for when the stoma bag change is over. Right, so we place the old bag in there. Adhesive remover. Oh my god, I literally cannot see what I'm doing because my boobs are so big. It's ridiculous. Oh my god, the freedom. Oh, let the stoma breathe. It's honestly wild, like actually, how much bigger it looks. Definitely grown. Oh, I feel like I can breathe. Right, now we need to get a wet one. I can really see like around the edge of the stoma where my skin has been suffering, and there's some blood as well, so. Then we dry the skin because adhesive will not stick. So the bit that is painful is literally just the bit where the stoma meets my skin, because the stoma itself has no nerve endings. Like, that's just like wet and squishy. The skin around it, however, does. Right, so this is the powder that the nurse gave me. I've been doing my best with it. I do have a mirror that the hospital gave me when I first had my stoma surgery. I've had to use it once, like placing it in front of me so I can see underneath my stoma for, like, see what I'm doing. Let's see what size we need to go. This one is 35. That's what I was cutting to before. That is ridiculous, Hannah. That is why you were in so much pain. Right, so this is 38. Come on, get on there. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Oh, even that, I had to like shimmy down the stoma itself, but oh, fuck. Do I need to take this off and cut a bigger hole? I still don't feel completely comfortable. Go about the rest of my evening and see how that feels. I think my skin just like still feels sore from it being the wrong size, but hopefully now that I've cut to a bigger size, it like calms down a bit. It does actually feel better now. It feels like it's soothed, which is good. I'm gonna make myself some dinner now. I think I spoke too soon last night because after changing my bag and then as I was cooking dinner, oh boy, was I in pain. Like I would not feel anything for a while and then it would just be like, ah! And I think that's because basically the stoma moves because it's part of my small intestine, which like moves like a worm and like pulses to like move poo through, and so the bit that's on the outside of me also just kind of like does its whole wormy thing. And I think what was happening was like it was moving into a certain position where it was like catching my skin and the edge of the stoma, like the sore bit, like ugh. Anyway, bad, painful. So after dinner I like just had to rip it off and try again, but oh my god, very glad I didn't film that fiasco because it was very messy because I'd just eaten and so my digestive system was like, we're awake, let's go. Oh dear. But I cut to the full 43 millimeters of the bag, put it on, and it was better, but still not great. So yeah, I think like I'm much more comfortable now, but I can still feel a little bit. So I'm gonna call up my stoma nurse and see if I need to come in and for her to have a look again and see if I need to go up to the 50 millimeter bag if I'm gonna need more than 43 millimeters. The other thing that was kind of worrying was there looked like there was a cut, and this wasn't there when I was doing my filmed stoma bag change. So this happened in like an hour, and I think it was because like I put it on too tightly, it was the wrong size, I like caught something, I don't know. But when I was doing that second change, like I could see this bit on the edge of my stoma where it looked like it was cut, I don't know. I managed to take a photo of it because my stoma nurse at the hospital, they have like a WhatsApp where you can like send pictures to be like, help, what's going on? So yeah, gonna reach out to them, see what I need to do. It is feeling better this morning, but yeah, I can still tell that it's just like a bit too tight. It's just there and like just occasionally just like painful, and it's like I just want to be able to forget about it. Like most of the time I am just so blissfully unaware of the fact that I have a stoma and a bag until obviously I go to the toilet, and then I'm like, oh, there it is, this is how I go to the toilet. But I like that for most of the day I just don't even notice it, I don't even think about it, I can't even feel it. But now I am being made aware that it's there, and in a not fun way, and I don't like it. Just be grateful that you didn't see all of the shit coming out of me yesterday. You're welcome. Good morning. I just did my first bag change since that whole palaver a couple of days ago, and I can still feel that it's like too tight and catching, and I'm now cutting to like the biggest amount on my stoma bag, so 43 millimeters. But I rang my stoma nurse and she is sending me the next size up. So we're going up to the one that like goes all the way up to 50, which means only another 7 millimeters of growth. And I think that is the maximum of like the brand of bag that I have. So if I hit that 50, if I get any bigger than that, then we're gonna have to like find a new bag entirely, I think, which I'm not looking forward to if that's the case, because I really love my bag. I like how it looks and I like the size of it, and obviously like the adhesive works with my skin and everything. But hey, it is what it is. But I sent her a photo of like the cut on the side of my stoma, and whilst she like acknowledged like, okay, yeah, that looks like where like the stoma bag has like cut into the stoma a bit, and like obviously like the pain is then that like rubbing and hitting against the edge of the stoma, she wasn't like worried about it in the sense that I have to come in and have it looked at and stuff. She was like, yeah, that's probably what's happened, but it's fine. And I was like, okay, how big is this stoma going to get? Good morning. It looks like it could be evening, but it's just grey and miserable outside. But I have a stoma bag update. Oh my God. So things escalated. I got my bigger bag that goes up to a maximum of 50 millimeters. And it was a few days ago, Friday morning, when I put on my new bag, and I didn't cut to the maximum amount. I went like around 47, 48 millimeters, and I was feeling fine. And then Friday evening, I was in so much pain. It was not fun. It was just far too tight, and then just like as my belly and my stoma expanded throughout the day, it was catching, it was sore, it was bad. I was also just like experiencing lots of like pregnancy back aches and pains and stuff, and then I just had like this thing on my belly that was also just like causing me so much grief. It was not a fun evening. Me and my mum were out visiting some family friends, and I just really couldn't concentrate on like being a fun person to be around, because I was just like, I'm in so much pain right now. But we got home and I was like, I cannot sleep like this. So I immediately like went to change my bag, and yeah, it was bad. It looked really sore, it looked really red. That cut that I'd kind of like had previously was like long. It was like there was like one big long cut along like a third of the side of my stoma, and it was bleeding. But I put on one of the new bags, cut to the maximum of 50, and just like crashed, because the whole thing just completely wiped me out. But it is now Monday morning, so it's been like 3 days with that bag, and I just changed the bag again this morning, and it's definitely healed a bit. And also like I survived 3 days with that size bag on, which is a good sign. So yeah, I'm now cutting to the maximum. On Friday evening, I did text my stoma nurses at the hospital with photos of like my really sore and red stoma. So I'll hopefully hear back from them today, because if I'm already at the maximum of this bag, then need to get a new bag. But I wanted to show you the like evolution of my stoma in bag sizes, because it's honestly ridiculous. So this is the bag that I had pre-pregnancy and at the beginning of pregnancy, and this is the size that I was cutting to. It's basically just under 33 millimeters. Then, as things started to get bigger, I got the next size up, and I was cutting to 35 millimeters, because this bag, the maximum is 33. And so then the stoma nurse got me the next size up, which is the bag that goes all the way up to 43, and I was cutting to 35. So that's the difference between those. Obviously it's very subtle, that's just like 2 millimeters difference. But very quickly, I think, I went from 35 to cutting to the full 43 on this one. And that's the difference there. And so that was when I needed to order the 50 bags from my stoma nurse, and that was when things started to go a bit awry, and I got that like first cut on my stoma, I think. That is the difference from pre-pregnancy to the 43. And then I got the 50 bags, and this was the amount that I cut to, that I managed less than a day in. It was as if I went from 35 to 50, like in the space of a few days. But yeah, this was what I cut for myself Friday morning, and had to immediately change Friday evening to get the full amount. I'm going to finish cutting this so you can see. There we go. This is the maximum that I'm cutting to. Completely irrelevant for this video, but it's my 30th birthday in a few weeks, and I bought this 13 going on 30 dress on Depop, and it just arrived, and now I don't want to take it off. But just before that, I went to the hospital this morning to pick up some new Stoma bags that the Stoma nurse picked out for me. So it's been like a week or two cutting to the full 50 millimeters, and that has been good, not great, but like definitely not like the chaos that ensued a week or so ago. But we want to be on the safe side and get some bags that can cut bigger than that, so I'm prepared for like when this one starts to like get real uncomfortable. So let's do a Stoma bag unboxing haul situation. Oh, okay, right. Now that I've shown you this dress, I'm actually gonna sit down to do this. Now my stupid friends are having stupid children. My stupid friends are having stupid children. We're on the floor. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so. Aha, right, so these ones look like they cut to 55, and then these ones cut to 60. Oh, see, right, both of these bags are just that more medical material that I do not like. See, this is where my vanity kicks in, because I just love the bag that I have, which is the Sensura Mio. I think it's a coloplast one, I think. It's a different kind of material. It's not this one, which is almost like fabric-y. Like, I don't know. This is skin color. But yeah, okay, so this one is from Hollister, probably not the fashion brand Hollister. And then this one's Pelican Healthcare. And yeah, that's the back. So this one is 60. This one goes all the way up to 55. I guess for my next bag change, which is tomorrow morning, I'll just try one of these and I'll try cutting them to 50, which is what I'm currently doing, maybe like tiny bit over 50. Got my measuring guide. Right, so the other thing I need to figure out is like every Stoma bag has like different situations of like how you do them up and how you empty them. There we go. Where is the hole? I mean, this is maybe a good sign because I'm like, it's so well sealed. Boom, there we go. The main thing about these bags is just seeing like how well they stick, if my body likes them, around the stoma and the bit that like of my body that's on the adhesive, and then also like the routine of emptying it and figuring that out, because this is a different mechanic to the current bag that I have. Right, I'll update you once I try one of these bags and see how it goes. Good morning. So I tried one of the new Stoma bags yesterday, so I've now had a full 24 hours with it. Obviously I've not had the experience yet of trying to take it off, but I thought I would do a Stoma bag review. Is that a thing? That must be a thing. So the one that I went for was the Hollister one, because this is the one that goes up to 55. But when I was looking through the bag that the Stoma nurse gave me, there was a third brand in there that also goes up to 55, which is Dansac. I went with this one just because it didn't look as wide, and so I thought it would like take up less space on my body. Like, this is really wide, and actually you can see that the adhesive comes out further than the bag itself. Also, as a comparison, this is the brand of bags that I was previously using, and then this is the one that I'm currently wearing. So I wanted to make sure that I was like sizing myself properly, so I actually spent a bit more time like measuring my stoma, which is really difficult to do on your own. I went with cutting 50 like up and down, and then like a bit wider, like halfway between 50 and 55 across, because I think my stoma is like bigger that way. I can't remember. My stoma is an oval, so I went with that instead of a perfect circle. Taking off the adhesive to get it stuck on you, there's like this big plastic bit that you take off, but then there's like these other paper bits that you take off, and actually the bit that is stuck to you, so like you've got your hard plastic bit that goes around the stoma, but then like the rest of it that's attached to your skin that is also sticky is like this same kind of like fabricy material, which is new to me. But also one of the things I've noticed is that like my skin where that fabric bit is touching is getting itchy, and that's like a fairly normal occurrence for me, like wearing a Stoma bag, is that the skin that's underneath the adhesive is just like itchy and you're like, no, I can't scratch it. But in the last 24 hours it's been more, and I'm like, wait, have I had much of an like itchy skin around my Stoma since pregnancy? And I don't really think so. So I don't know, maybe it's just like my skin just getting used to a new adhesive concoction, who knows. But yeah, that's that. I'm meant to be going swimming today, and I'm not 100% sure how waterproof these are, but I'm sure they're all waterproof because they've also provided me with some of the like filter stickers and stuff, which you're meant to put on these filters when you like go in water and stuff. That's my Stoma bag review. I'll let you know how easy it is to take off, and then I might try the Dansack. Dansack. That's the name of the brand, Dansack. Oh, but in general, my Stoma is feeling a lot better. Like when I changed it yesterday morning, like it's definitely still healing because I'm like wearing the proper size bags now, but it was still quite sore in the morning. But I think that was just because like I'd touched it, I'd cleaned it, so it was just like, but then like I felt so much more comfortable throughout the day, like wearing a bag that fits and it not rubbing against my Stoma or the sore skin or anything. And I was like kind of like almost getting to a place where I was before with my Stoma, where like for most of the hours of the day, like I don't even notice it, like I can't even feel it. It's just so inconsequential. I just got back from my swim, and as expected, the Stoma bag was absolutely fine. In fact, I think that this bag like dries better and quicker than my previous bag. It just kind of like almost instantly dried, whereas with my other one it like retains the wetness a lot and I have to kind of like dry it with a towel, but even that doesn't get rid of everything. So far really liking this bag, other than the aesthetic. Okay, so this is what the bag looks like on. As you can see, it is bigger than my other bags. Like it definitely like hangs more, it's longer, but I don't know if you can tell, it definitely was more obvious when it's wet, but you can see like the darkness of the poo basically through the colour of the bag, which I'm just like, surely there's a way to have that not be a thing. I mean, like, it's a bag of poo, but come on, let's maybe not be screaming from the rooftops that there's a bag of poo. I don't know. Good morning. Who's ready for a Stoma bag update? Stuff has happened. I can hear Dan laughing at me in the other room. I thought you were laughing at me.
I wasn't laughing at you. No, things about you, love.
Oh.
I mean, most things are they?
Do you want to hear about my experience with Dansack?
With that.
It's my least favourite one. It was not a winner. Sorry, Dan. It's an update on the ball. Where were we? This was the bag that I was wearing. It was good, like usable. And then I changed it, and that change was all fine, to Dansack. Not as much of a fan of this one. The shape was just not ideal, and also like maybe this was me not putting it on very well, but also like as soon as I put it on, I could feel that this part that is attached like around the Stoma just like was peeling off. Like the rest of it, all of this bit was very secure, but I was like, I don't know, and I left it because the rest of it seemed really secure, and I was like, I think it's just like a different feeling because it's a different material or adhesive or whatever, I don't know. At first, I found emptying this one real easy. I didn't have the problem that I had with this one where it would like get stuck here and I would have to like push it down in order for it to like start flowing. This one, the weight of the poo would just mean that the whole thing just went boop, and it all would come out. However, things ended up getting messy. And actually this is going to be a running theme with the third bag, which is the one I'm currently wearing, because it would seem that I need some practice with how to use these kinds of drainable bags, which is just not what I'm used to. Dansack just didn't agree with me. The shape was all wrong. The way that it folds up is just like really weird. Like it's like it doesn't fit. It's like it's not been designed to like actually kind of like turn in. So like the Velcro goes on like that, but then it's just like sticking out here and you can't really like get it under that. And that means that this plastic, these like hard plastic corners and stuff are like scratching on my legs and my body at night. And this bag is actually like too wide and it's too narrow up here in terms of how much bag there is. There's like only like a centimetre of bag here. So it doesn't work with my like fabric Stoma bag cover that I have that I wear at night. Like it's not the right shape. It like doesn't fit in my Stoma bag cover. The Hollister bag did fit in my Stoma bag cover at push, and the same with this one, the third one that I'm using, which is the Pelican one. So these two are the best ones so far. I think actually like I prefer the Pelican the most. They are definitely both bigger than my previous bags, but they do still fit in my Stoma bag cover, which is good for nighttime. But yeah, this is the one that I'm currently wearing. My favorite thing about it is that like the other side of the adhesive, so the side that like you can see and touch on my belly, is like this really soft foam, which I wasn't expecting, and I'm like really into it. This one seems like less see-through as well, and it like folds up better, and I don't know, I prefer like the aesthetic of this one the most as well. And this is the one that goes up to the 60mm as well. So this one is like more future-proof for me if I grow anymore. And actually, what I've noticed in the last week or so is that she's not grown. I think she went through like a growth spurt, my Stoma, and now she's kind of like settled. But I don't know if she'll grow anymore because like, presumably my bump's gonna still continue growing and get a whole lot bigger. But there was definitely just like a 2-week growth spurt of my Stoma, and it's kind of like settled now because I'm just like so much more comfortable. This is what the Pelican Stoma bag looks like. This is my current situation. I wish that these bags had the second Velcro up here so I could fold it in half. None of the bags have that. I spoke too soon about the Pelican one being my favorite because I went swimming yesterday and it peeled off. Yesterday I had to do my first public Stoma bag change in my 4 years of having a Stoma. Yay! Luckily it didn't leak, and I don't know when it peeled off, but I noticed it when I was changing after my swim. It just had started peeling off on one side, but the adhesive that was like around the Stoma was still intact. Thank God. Thank God. It was very stressful. I was like, can I get home by just like holding it down, or do I need to change it here? And I opted for changing it there, which was an experience because obviously I was at a swimming pool, so I was in like public changing rooms, so the only sinks available to change my Stoma bag were like just the public out in the open sinks. And yeah, I mean, it was fine. I had one of the Hollister bags in my trusty emergency Stoma bag pouch, and so I'm wearing that one now, and actually I think is my favorite, but obviously it doesn't like go to a bigger size, so we will see. I called my Stoma nurse this morning, but I had to leave a message, so hopefully we'll hear back from her soon about the whole bag situations and peeling and But yeah, there were some people around when I was changing my Stoma bag, and it's probably a mixture of just like British politeness, but also like if you see a pregnant person like dealing with something in a bathroom, you just leave them to it. You don't say anything. You just leave that pregnant person to their shit, literally. The Hollister one, I don't want to jinx it again, but like I'm having a better time draining it and cleaning it. We haven't had any poo where it's not supposed to be yet, but it's still taking me longer to clean. What a time. I managed 4 years of having a Stoma without having any like accidents or mishaps, out in public, and then pregnancy went and ruined that for me. Also, the skin around my stoma has changed again. Yes, it's healing. Thank God it's not painful anymore. It's not like red and sore and bleeding. Like, it's definitely doing its healing thing. However, it's like a crater. It's like the skin has like raised around the stoma, and a crater is the only way I can think to describe it, and then the stoma is coming out of the crater. So I also sent a photo to my stoma nurse. Maybe she'll be like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's totally normal. But maybe she'll be like, come in. It's just extra. It's just extra stuff. There's so much to think about and do in pregnancy, and then this is just like another thing on top of that. I spoke too soon again. I've only had this bag on for like just over 12 hours or so. It's just like the middle of the next day, and I think I need to change it because I can feel the adhesive like not sticking. It's very annoying. This is the situation. I don't know whether it's because I could put it on in a rush yesterday and not in the comfort of my own home, but basically like all this adhesive, all of this sticky bit around the outside, fine, still on. There's a bit about here that I can just feel that it's not fully attached to my skin. So if I press it down, yeah, but then if I lift off, I can like feel it peeling off my skin. Like that's stuck, and then it like unsticks. So I am gonna have to take this off and change it to get an idea of if I'm right, if it has like stopped sticking. But yeah, this is not ideal because I don't have many of these bags left, because I only got a few samples and I'm used to changing my bag like every 3 days, and now I'm like changing it every day. Why? Let's see what we're working with. Okay, well now that I've peeled it off, it's hard to tell if it was already peeled off. And so now I feel like an idiot and I'm wasting bags. Stick down. I think I also want to ask the stoma nurse about getting some kind of like stoma support belt for pregnancy, just because I find myself as I'm walking around like actually like really holding it down, because it just like starts to ache and hurt and stuff. Like it just feels so much more secure and safe when I've got like my hand pressure like on it. And so if I could get some sort of like belt for that, that would be nice, I think. The stoma nurse said that the like crater of my skin that is appearing around my stoma is probably down to the fact that the bags that I'm using are convex, and I should try some flat bags. So hopefully they're able to get me some flat bags at the hospital soon so I can go pick them up. It is a Friday today, and I don't think the stoma nurse works today, and then it's the weekend. So hopefully next week, early next week. But this is what a convex bag is. It basically just means that this bit like is risen. It like, it's not flat. It's not all the same bit, like this bit like comes out. In theory, I think I don't need the convex bags, and then actually what the convex is doing is like pushing the skin around my stoma up. And actually, maybe the convex is why I'm having issues with it feeling like it's not sticking and it peeling off the other day. So hopefully I can survive this weekend and then get myself some flat bags, and fingers crossed they work. Last night I was in quite a bit of pain again, and it's tricky to know like how much of it is like the bag, how much is it the stoma, how much is it just pregnancy in general, how much of it is the fact that it's the evening, because now like it all feels fine and I feel really good and it feels comfortable, but like I just get like bigger in the evenings, I get more tired in the evenings. I'd also just had a big meal, and so like everything is just out and tight and stretched. And we were walking back from dinner last night, and oh my God, I definitely think I need some sort of like support band or belt around my stoma, because I'm just like holding it down to have some kind of relief from like the discomfort, but then also from the fact that I feel like super insecure. And by insecure, I mean like structurally insecure, not emotionally insecure. But I found my old hernia support belt, which I got right at the beginning of my journey. And I used this when I first started like exercising after surgery to kind of like help keep my abdomen like strong and like keep everything supported and in. And when we got home last night, I put it on, immediate relief. Immediate. I don't feel like I need it right now, but I just want to show you. So luckily it's still fit. It's an extra small, and I was like, oh god, is this gonna fit around my bump? But you know, previously I was wearing it fully wrapped around myself, and now it's like just the Velcro on the end. Oh, it's just doing what I was trying to do with my hands every time I'm walking places, just to like hold it down and like hold it in, and it's just able to do that, but obviously like hands free. But yeah, I'm just finishing up some work at the studio, and then I'm heading to the hospital because I have an appointment with my stoma nurse. So hopefully can get these flat bags and also some kind of support belt situation, because this last week has been tough, especially like in the late afternoons and evenings, and just like heaving around a big belly and a sore stoma. It has been real painful in some evenings, but like having something tight and just like, that presses against my stoma and my belly has just been like so good. So I just want to make sure that I have one that is the correct size, you know? More bags. We're just like being drowned in all sorts of different stoma bags right now. All right, I am back from my stoma nurse appointment, and it is time for a what's in my bag / stoma bag haul. I got all sorts of new goodies. Inside this bag is a whole bunch of stoma bags, and then inside the stoma bag is poo. So I have a whole bunch of flat bags to try, and I'm very excited. I'm currently wearing one, and when she did my stoma bag change and took a look at my stoma, actually learned that I have been cutting the hole too big. So I've been cutting to like 52 millimeters, but she measured it right around the stoma, not including the really red and sore bit. And actually I'm still at 45 millimeters. So that would definitely be a reason why it has been hurting a bit more, because if like any poo is getting on that skin, then that's going to like irritate it and stuff. Also the way that my skin and my stoma has like bulged up and like indented, she wasn't worried about. She was like, yeah, it's the convex bags, and like, you know, if you leave it for a few hours or start wearing the flat bags, then that should go down. So this is the kind of bag that I'm currently wearing. As you can see, it's flat. No more convex, flat. And actually these bags, which are by Salts, are the ones that I wore like right at the beginning. I had these for a while before I then switched to convex, and these also come in white and black. And so I've got a white one, and she didn't have any black ones to give me, but she could order some for me if I decide that I like these and they work for me. But look how small they are. That is very exciting to me. They cut all the way up to a 55. They're small and dainty, and I love it. She had lots of bags that were like see-through. So, you know, that's good in like medical situations where you need to be able to like see what's going on, and like when you're first learning what's happening with your stoma and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool, but, and she's like, don't worry, we have like opaque ones as well. And I was like, cool, good, because I want to do a pregnancy bump photo shoot. And she was like, I've got you. And just like, I love that stoma care nurses and specialists and stuff, like I love that at least the ones that I've had just get that whilst obviously a big part of it is the like medical stuff, how comfortable it is and it actually working. Another thing that is really important to patients is like how it looks and feeling confident and the aesthetic. Like those things are still important to us and still very much going to influence like what kind of bag that we choose. Because, you know, it's not just a medical device, it's an accessory. Yeah, anyway, so I'm feeling very excited about that. This is the same one, but in white. and folded up as well, so you can see how like small it gets. So this one is a flat Hollister one. Hollister was one of the ones that I was using before this one, but turns out this is like a different size. So I could have gotten this in a smaller size. So it's the same bag, as you can see. This one's obviously the flat one, but it's also smaller. Yay! I think it obviously like depends on the size of the person, but it also probably depends on like how much output you're producing, and so how much room you need in your bag for that. And then the other bag that she gave me that she recommended is another Dansack. I didn't really get on very well with the convex Dansack ones, but she really rated these ones because the back is more like a diamond than a circle, and apparently that can really help with like how it sticks to you and stuff. So we'll give them another go, I guess. But yes, I'm very happy that I've got smaller bags as well as flat ones. I wasn't expecting that, so that is good. Also, she gave me a tip for draining these ones that I seem to still be getting like poo everywhere, even though like had some improvement, which is like emptying it, wiping it, and then going to the sink and pouring water in it and cleaning it that way, and then pouring it out again. So that's going to be an interesting maneuver if I decide to try that. We will see. Here we go. These are all my new bags, and I'll be cutting them to 45, Hannah. And hopefully that means that the like redness and the soreness around my stoma starts to go down as well, and hopefully I can go swimming again, because I've been too scared to go swimming. Next part of my haul, what's in my bag? Well, I have got some hernia support belts. How sexy. So you've seen this one. This is my extra small one that I was using before that was definitely too small for me. So I now have 2 more. Basically on loads of stoma stuff, it's always old people because it's quite rare for young people to get stomas, but I'm like, yes, so relatable. Happy old people, love it. So this is a medium, I think, and it's also much wider, as you can see. But if I hoist all of this up, as you can see, even the medium, I'm already like right on the end of it, but it doesn't feel as like restrictive and tight as the extra small, obviously. This one, look at this bad boy, it's got colours for where you do your Velcro. How lovely. There we go. Keeps everything in, but it doesn't feel like I'm suffocating the baby, which is what the extra small one was definitely doing. Good morning. I'm whispering because I don't want to wake Dan up, and I wanted to film this update before I did my bag change this morning, because I've now spent a week with the salts bag, and I wanted to do an ASMR update. First off, I'm feeling so much better. We have nailed like the size being correct, and we've also nailed the like flat bag thing. Like, that's definitely made significant improvements to like the redness and the soreness around my stoma, and then my pain, like back to where I was before, which is that I don't think about my stoma. Like, those few weeks of like extreme discomfort and pain and frustration are maybe over. Okay, so overall, generally really like this bag, and would probably be happy if like my stoma doesn't change to like stick with this bag throughout the rest of pregnancy. Obviously I still do have some qualms with it, but like it's manageable. I like that it's smaller, obviously, as well, number one. I think even if like the other 2 bags work better for me, I think this might be the one that I go for the photo shoot, just because it's smaller, it's more opaque, and it comes in white and black as well, so I can kind of be a bit flexible. The drainy bit. So when I'm going to the toilet and I'm going boop, 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 and undoing this and like pouring out, obviously I'm holding it up now so the poo's going to come out, I'm still getting poo and stuff on this drainy bit. It's a bit hit and miss.
Like sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not. Like emptying it out takes longer. And also the stoma nurse obviously gave me that tip about putting water in it. I tried it. It did not work. Draining is still difficult, but we deal. So the first bag change that I did with this one, I actually did not get it stuck on properly, and I had to take that bag off and like start again with another one. I'm finding the bag changes a little bit difficult. I think it's just like I need to get used to how it feels with it being a flat bag and not convex. Like I've spent 4 years with a convex bag, and there's just like a certain, I don't know, muscle memory of like putting it on and like feeling where the adhesive is and like sticking it all down. And I'm just having to like relearn kind of how that's all meant to feel with a flat bag. And my second and third bag changes were better. So I didn't actually have to like completely restart. But I did sort of feel like, oh, maybe I'm not like completely got it flat. But I haven't had any leakages, and every time I've changed it, it's been like fine. So I'm like, oh, okay, I did put it on well enough. I'm swimming again, so obviously that's the win, and we've not had any mishaps with swimming, so like yes, yes, yes. When the bag is wet, however, so that's either from swimming or from showering, the adhesive goes kind of gooey, and it kind of happens like here around the edge of the adhesive. I don't know if you can kind of like see that it's kind of like dry and crumbly right now. And then on this side, I don't know if you can see that either, but there's this line here, and that's where that has kind of like touched the gooey adhesive, and then it's just dried here. At first I thought that maybe this meant that the adhesive was coming off, which kind of worried me, but it turns out that the adhesive around the edge just goes a bit gooey, and it's a bit weird. But other than that, it's really secure. So the first bag change that I did, there was significantly less redness around the top of my stoma. So I definitely think the stoma nurse was right, and I was cutting my bags way too big, which meant that I was getting like poo on my actual skin, which was not helping the skin heal. There was still some redness underneath my stoma, and I'm now pretty much like routinely every bag change I'm doing, I'm now using my like mirror thing so I can see underneath my stoma, because I don't have a great view of everything right now. Yeah, and so once I kind of like cleaned a bit better under the stoma, and then actually trying to get that powder thing, that like, I don't know, nappy powder or whatever, like on the underside of my stoma as well. Then the next bag change I did, there was significantly less redness underneath as well. So that's it. That's how I've been for the last week with my salts bag. So this morning I'm going to change to either the Hollister flat one that is also smaller in shape than the Hollister ones I was using before, or this Dansack one. And I think I'm going to go with the Hollister one just because it's my birthday tomorrow, and I don't want to be wearing a see-through poo bag on my body for my 30th birthday. It's just not the vibe.
Successful bag change. Here's the new situation. Here's the new bag. I was a bit worried. I mean, I still am a bit worried about like how well it's sticking on this side. Like it doesn't feel or look like it's maybe fully down. I don't know. But we shall see. It overall feels pretty secure, so I think we should be fine unless I start to feel things like peeling off me and stuff. But yeah, that was all good. Hello, look at that. She's so red. Ooh. So 2 days ago, I turned 30, and on my 30th birthday, I had a bag leak. So it was the Hollister bag that I just started trying, and that little bulge where I thought that the seal hadn't properly sealed. Yeah, it hadn't. I went to the toilet and I was like, there's some poo on my thigh, and took a look down, and yeah, lo and behold, there was poo seeping out the side of the stoma bag. And so I was just like, oh no, oh no. I was like, Dan. And then managed to like maneuver myself to the other bathroom where my stoma supplies are. And oh my goodness, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare because it was the middle of the day. So Mona was being really active, and it was like the kind of active that's wasn't very solid. It was very liquidy, and it gets messy so quick. So I tried to change back into one of the salts bags that I was using before, but I was already struggling with getting those on like properly with the adhesive like flat properly down. So that didn't work, and then tried again, and then tried again, called Dan in because there was like poo everywhere and I needed to grab more wipes and I needed to like cut more bags whilst also just like holding these wipes under my stoma to catch all of the poo. Oh, what a fun 30th birthday. I think we got through like 5 or 6 bags. At one point we were like ready and we were like putting a new bag on, and then like Mona just like all over the new bag. So it was like on the adhesive. So we're like, well, we can't use this because there's now poo on it. What a time. In the end, we were like, fuck this, let's go for the Dan sack bag that is see-through so that Dan can like properly help and actually like place the bag on me and we can see what we're doing. Because even with the mirror, it's just really difficult. I don't know why I'm finding these flat bags so much more difficult to stick on. Like once they're on, they're definitely the right ones for me. Like the convex bags were not working on the shape of my belly anymore, but these flat bags just, I don't know. Like I don't think I've put a single one on flat without a little bulge by myself. Dan managed to get the Dan sack one on. It was all flat. We was like, thank God, we did it, can relax. And then like I tidied up and everything, and then had a bit of a cry because it was just very stressful and overwhelming. And then I was wearing like a see-through bag with my shit all on show for my 30th birthday and didn't feel particularly good about it because that's what I wanted to avoid. But hey, we got a bag on without it leaking. It has been a pretty eventful week in stoma bag land. So I had another almost leak with the Hollister bag in exactly the same place on the side. This time I caught it before the adhesive had fully come up, but because the like fabric adhesive bit was kind of see-through, I could see it being darker. I could see that some poo had escaped, but it hadn't quite fully escaped. So I was like, ah! Quickly did a bag change, so caught it before I got poo all over myself again. So those flat back Hollister bags are dead to me, and I'm now pretty much exclusively using the salts and the Dan sack ones, which I have a whole box of here. In theory, this should be it. These should be the bags that see me through. Am I gonna be doing a spoke too soon again situation? We'll see. These are my Dan sack ones, and the salts ones will be coming soon. I also just got back from a weekend away in Manchester visiting my family, and I did a spa day that was for my birthday, and I wasn't sure which bag to go for because I was like, these salts ones get a bit of the gooey adhesive when they're wet. I've been able to have a swim in them for like 20 minutes, but what about a whole spa day? Like, will it be able to handle that? I don't know. And then the Dan sack ones, I don't think I'd been for a swim in, so I wasn't sure how they would hold up in water. And then also they're see-through, and I'm doing a spa day, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, decided to go for the Dan sack ones, just deal with the see-through stuff. And then when I was getting my pregnancy massage, I just made sure I put my stoma bag cover on so that, you know, there wasn't just like shit visible for the massage therapist to be staring at. But then, oh boy, it turns out that the Dan sack bag can't handle that much water. At least that's what I'm assuming was the case, because it was fine during the spa day, no mishaps actually at the spa, thank God. But then when I was emptying my bag at night at around 3 a.m. I noticed that some poo had started leaking out the side, and so I had to do a very messy 3 a.m. bag change. Luckily, no poo got on any of the bed sheets or anything like that. It was just poo on my skin and on the Stoma bag cover, so that's getting a wash. But that was annoying. I'm hoping that's just because of the wetness from the spa day. And yeah, the Dansack bag I think can probably handle a 20-minute swim here and there, but not a full spa day again. I have no idea how coherent I was in those last couple of clips because I was so tired when filming them, but this is where we are at now. I am currently 32 weeks pregnant, so there is still a little while of pregnancy to go. So if I do have any more Stoma pregnancy related updates, I will be documenting them in my 3rd trimester vlog, which you'll be seeing soon-ish, who knows? It's been an emotional journey. Honestly, lots of ups and downs when it comes to this thing that is on my body. These are the 2 bags that I'm currently using. We have my lovely small and sleek and sexy salts one, and then the like big practical see-through let's all stare at Hannah's poo. So this is going to be my day-to-day one. I'm currently wearing this one, and actually I think I did my most successful bag change ever this morning in terms of like getting the adhesive on super flat. So and then this is going to be my more like special occasion, I want to feel fancy Stoma bag. So yeah, that's where we are at. This one cuts to a maximum of 55 and I'm currently cutting just above 45, and this one cuts to a maximum of 60. So we do have some growing room and hopefully we won't need it all. So there you have it. That is my experience so far with pregnancy and having a Stoma. I hope that you enjoyed this video, learned something from this video, found it interesting or intriguing. If you are somebody with a Stoma who wants to get pregnant at some point and you're kind of watching this to see what it might be like, one, your experience may be completely different to mine, but also I really hope that this hasn't scared you too much, because whilst yes, it has been irritating and frustrating and painful and just like an extra layer of medical admin and hassle and faff to deal with, it is manageable. Like, I'm here, it's fine, we just keep going, and ultimately it is worth it. If you are somebody with a Stoma who has experienced pregnancy, I would be super interested to hear your experiences if you are willing to share in the comments, because that is not something that I really heard much about before I got pregnant, other than it's possible. Thanks again for watching. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.